I'd like to call this meeting to order tonight. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Abingdon Town Council meeting. Please note, there will be an opportunity during the meeting for citizens to address the Town Council. When I, the Mayor, Dwayne Anderson, declare public comments open, we request that anyone addressing council sign up, approach the podium when called, state your first and last name, and provide your complete mailing address. With that being said, Kim, if you'll please call roll.
Mr. Webb.
Here.
Ms. Quetch.
Here.
Ms. Pillion.
Here.
Vice Mayor Austin.
Present.
And Mayor Anderson.
Here. Now I would like for, please, Donna Quince, council member, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Donna. Now I would like to call forward the Associate Pastor Barbara Farmer from Pleasant View Church to lead us in prayer.
Mayor Anderson, council members, and staff, I just want you to know what a privilege it is to be asked to come and pray for you and with you in person rather than just doing it at home by myself.
We're glad to have you. Thank you for coming out.
Would you pray with me? Father, I truly do thank you for this privilege. I thank you for good men and women who are willing to take a stand publicly and do the right thing for a community like Abingdon. I thank you for this community, and I pray, Lord, that you would bless it and continue to prosper us as a community of diversity, a community of wholeness, and just a good place to live. And Father, tonight I would ask you to give these seated before me the good sense to, at times when they don't know what decision to make or when a decision is difficult, I just pray, Lord, that they would stop and consult with you first before making difficult decisions that affect lives of many, many, many of us. Give them wisdom, give them patience, and give them your grace. In the name of the one we serve, Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Farmer. Now, has all council members had a moment to approve the agenda? Would anybody like to make a motion to approve the agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Would anyone like to second?
I'll second.
If there's no discussion, Kim, if you'll please call roll.
Mr. Webb.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch.
Aye.
Ms. Pillion.
Here, yes, aye.
Vice Mayor Austin.
Aye.
And Mayor Anderson.
Aye. Now I would like to approve the minutes from the January the 6th, 2025 meeting and the minutes from January the 22nd, 2025, which was our council retreat. If someone would like to make a motion for that.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Kim, if you'll please call roll.
Mr. Webb.
Aye.
Ms. Quetch.
Aye.
Ms. Pillion.
Aye.
Vice Mayor Austin.
Aye.
And Mayor Anderson.
Aye. And with that, will lead us into public comments. And I think we have one person signed up for public comments, and that will be Eddie Copenhaver. Eddie, if you'll come up at this time. If you'll please state your first name, state and your address, identify any organization that you represent. Each speaker will have 3 minutes for comments. The time will begin. Once you're down to 1 minute, we'll give you a little increment when you're at 1 minute. And please know, Eddie, that while you're speaking, just to let you know, staff will not question or otherwise engage with the speaker during the public comment. So you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, council members, mayor,
Excuse me.
staff. Here again on a new year to remind y'all that we still have a flooding problem down on Preston Street and Hagee Street. I do appreciate what you did last year, but it didn't fix the problem. It did alleviate some of the problems, but not all of it. And as you're going into a new year and a new budget year, I thought I'd come by and ask if you could maybe put a little money into the planning of getting some stuff fixed. You know, Preston Street is still raised up a good bit in places above the sidewalk. The street sweeper can't get put within 4 feet of the sidewalk, so it doesn't get the gutter at all. You know, it leaves a pretty good sized strip through there. One of my neighbors, she's gone to putting sandbags around her house to keep the water out. And, you know, it used to not be that way, but she's had to start doing that. So if y'all could maybe, you know, I'm not asking you to fix it this year because I know it's a bigger project, but if you could put a little bit money behind, put a little bit money up to start some planning, maybe, because I think a problem can be fixed, and I don't think it's a $10 million fix. You know, I think a few $1,000s, and it's not going to be a cheap fix, but a few $1,000s would repave the street, fix the sidewalk so that the water runs in the direction it needs to run and not over into the yards and of my neighbors and down Higgy Street into those people's properties. So anyway, if y'all would do that, I would appreciate it much. So y'all have a really great time. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Eddie. I don't think we have anyone else signed up for public comment, right, Kim?
Correct.
Yes, ma'am. So that's going to move us on to proclamations. I don't think we have any proclamations tonight. I don't think we have any public hearing as well tonight. Am I right with that, Kim?
Yes.
So we don't have any resolutions tonight. Tonight is kind of one of those days we're just going to kind of breeze right through with the ease tonight. We don't have any first reading of ordinance tonight. Is that right, Kim? No second readings, no considerations of bids, but we do have some new business tonight. And first on the agenda with the new business is going to be the Barter Theater with an update. So I'm going to ask Matt Campbell to come forward, which is the managing director.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Mayor. So I think I've met everybody, but Matt Campbell from the Barter, I'm the managing director. It's good to see you all. I wanted to take a minute and give you a 2024 update because we had some really exciting stuff happen. So wanted to share some numbers and look forward to 2025 a little bit. In 2024, we had 17 productions for a little over 425 performances, welcoming over 122,000 in attendance to the Barter last year. Out of that, 96,000 came from a resident company season. 24,000, a little over 24,000 came from our player season, which leaves about 2,000 left for our other events, the Appalachian Festival of Plays and Playwrights, College Playwright Festival, Shine, which is an Illuminating Black Stories event, and then our Young Playwrights Festival. Out on tour, we saw about 27,238 students across the East Coast of the United States and down into our area and below. I think a really exciting number for us, out of that 122,000, about 28% of that, 26 to 28% of that came from out-of-town guests. We are diligent about continuing to grow that number percentage-wise, mostly to support our community and make sure that we're bringing new tourists in all the time to see shows, but also enjoy Abingdon. A lot of that happens because of the support from you all and our marketing efforts. We've moved to what we call full funnel advertising, which means we're trying to create a really big funnel at the top to make sure that we're feeding people individually down below. So as we start a bigger group up top, we have more results at the bottom. That includes we contracted a new digital marketing firm with a concentration on setting benchmarks and really stewarding our marketing dollars. We did that in paid searches with a 68% CTR, which is click-through rate. The national average is about 4%. So we're seeing good return on that. We did ad buys, paid email blasts outside a 90-mile radius. So what we do is we buy 50,000 emails and we do a blast, and they're all outside a 90-mile radius. We follow up on that then with geo-fencing those particular areas so that they're getting multiple ways of being hit by us in the advertising and marketing field. We also have our social advertising. We did start working with an influencer as well through our partnership with VTC and working with the tourism department here in Abingdon. They're doing a program called Sherpa, we're doing a program called Sherpa, and we're spreading them out between our two resources to make sure they don't overlap at all. So we get bang for our buck doubling that. We've expanded our reach into 6 targeted areas, mostly cities that we know we have some heat maps occurring outside of a 100-mile radius in order to boost those numbers of outside guests. This fall, or this winter, we ran 5 digital billboards in Greensboro and Winston-Salem, which we have a hot spot in. Those ran over the month of November and December and was all about come to Abingdon for a Christmas getaway. So how do you experience the holidays in Abingdon? We've increased our individual mailings and emailings to connect with patrons' interest, really doing a personalized exposure to what we have to offer. We've also continued to grow our connection to customers. Our current email list is a little more than 53,000. So we're connecting with them in personal ways. And then we're stringing all of our relationships together, really focusing on quarterly, if not more often, meetings with Abingdon Tourism to make sure that we're partnering in the best healthy way possible so that we're connecting in all the different facets. So I think it's some really exciting stuff that we have going on. 2025, we're going to have about 127 employees at our peak season that are full-time. We have over 40 contracted employees, so we're really servicing a lot of people. We're also off to a great start already. Our partnership with the town, Grandma Gatewood, opens this weekend. We're already 80% sold.
Wow.
So the goal is to make sure that we try to get as many people in during February and early March as possible to get some revenue coming into restaurants in the surrounding area. So 80% even before we open is really exciting stuff. We also have AFPP coming up the 13th through the 16th. That is completely at capacity already, so there's a waiting list for that. It's now in its 25th year, which is really exciting, and we're filling that up really fast. And then right on the heels of that, on the 16th, we have Shine, which will be in Gillum. Other than that, I just want to say I've been to lots of organizations in my career, and I'm deeply grateful to all of you in this room who help make what we do succeed. Right? It's a mutual partnership. We very much feel that at the Barter, and it would not succeed without the support of the town of Abingdon. So thank you all very much for that. Happy to entertain any questions, but wanted to give you a brief update, and Chief Holbrook told me I had to be short.
I've got one question for you, if that's
Yes, sir.
okay. Where are we seeing a lot of the visitors that are attending the bar theater? Where is that crowd coming from? Is that
Sure. Surprisingly enough, we're having heat maps in Virginia Beach, which is exciting. And then we're also having heat maps from Northern Virginia. So we're seeing Arlington, Leesburg, right around the DC area. That one's relatively surprising because there's a lot of arts offering there, but we can only assume it's about an escape or getaway mentality. So for us, we're really leaning into the destination over the next few years. And then we're also trying to hit the Piedmont Triangle area because we know we have some natural influx for there, and a lot of their art has unfortunately gone away over time. So not a far distance.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Matt, I want to know, do your attendance figures include the Rotary Frolics or not?
You know, I think the numbers are too big. Vice Mayor Austin, they're just too big for us to even consider. No, sir, they do not include outside events.
Is there anything else that we could do as council members to support you that we are not already doing?
I think you all are doing wonderful things as always. Part of why we succeed is word of mouth and sharing with your friends, and if people come to visit, making sure that they have an opportunity to come see us. Because for us, it's always about how do we connect and grow further in that relationship with people. We had a banner year with subscriptions last year. We're hoping for the same thing this year. The national trend is going down. We've only been going up by 10 to 12% up, which is really successful for us.
Good.
And successful for theater in general. So it's really that. We're also engaging in the conversation for the 250 Commission. We had a meeting with them today, so we're going to do something in conjunction with them. We were able to meet with a few of the folks from there and do a special offering for Abingdon, along with the awesome other stuff that's already starting to happen with the 250. Thank you for that question.
Well, as you know, I'm in the restaurant business as well, and I work for the tavern. And you know, when the bar is going good, it's going good for the local restaurants, hotels. So you all keep up the good work at the Barter, because when it works for the Barter, it works for the whole town of Abingdon.
Well, I
And we really
appreciate that,
appreciate
Mayor.
that.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
And
sir.
we certainly keep that in mind and are diligent about it.
Any other questions for Mr. Campbell?
No, I just want to say I appreciate you helping us out doing the February shows. I'll be interested to see the after action on that.
Me too. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
Awesome. Appreciate you all.
Thanks.
Thank you. Next up, we have new business from the Abingdon Police Department, and we have our Chief, John Holbrook, here to explain that to us. Good evening, Chief.
Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Before I get started on my kind of year-end review, that's going to be somewhat brief, as I was told by Mr. Cochran to be.
I just said keep it shorter than the fire department. That's all.
But before we get started on that, I did want to present a minor award that's pretty special. And if I could have Officer Riley, if you'll come up. So every year, local law enforcement collaborates with the MAD organization, the Mothers Against Drunk Driving, and their mission is to end drugged and drunk driving and to provide services to the victims of those that have been devastated by drunk drivers on the road. We team up with them, and we want to honor officer each year that has gone above and beyond in their enforcement efforts to prevent drunk driving and drug driving on the road, who have gone out there every night and every day shift as well, and looking for the indicators of those that are driving intoxicated and then taking enforcement action as needed. And this year's award winner, I'm happy to announce, is Officer Riley, who's only been with us for a year, but has made a significant impact already in that year. And everybody at the agency is super proud of all that he's done. I'm proud and thankful for all that you have done. So with that, I'll award you with the Outstanding Service from MAD Virginia for all your efforts in enforcement of DUI and impaired driving.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
I'm nervous in front of a lot of people. Thank you all very
Get a
much.
picture with the council?
Yeah, let's. If you want to stand in front of council.
Officer Raleigh, I'm very proud of you. I've watched you grow up in this town. I've seen you leave and I've seen you come back. Congratulations to you. Thank you for everything you do for the town of Abingdon.
Thank you so
Appreciate it,
much.
sir.
Thank you.
His identical twin is hiding in the back.
I requested you have.
Thank you, Officer Raleigh.
So yes, I should have said he is a native of Abingdon, and most people know him or his twin brother or both of them, who are commonly confused a lot. So this is just a quick overview. Feel free to stop me at any point in time and ask questions as we go along if you have any questions. But I did want to start with, every year I go to the Rotary Frolics just to see how well I did that year. Once again, I did not have a skid about me, so I think we're okay. We'll see if next year I still have the same luck.
I know the people that write that. I can work on that. Yeah.
That's good. I am good to stay out of it, so we're good. But that was fun Saturday. So just a brief overview of what we have. We have 26 full-time. We are fully staffed, knocked on wood. We are good. We've been full staff since December. I may have been bragging about it a little bit to everybody I know, because it's tough to get full staff, but thanks to you all, I am there for now. We have 26 full-time. We have 2 part-time officers. They were part-time. They are just minimum wage, but they stay on as they have very specialty skills. They used to be officers with us, but one left to become a full-time trainer at the police academy. He still comes in on a regular and does some in-house training for us and helps us out with there. The other officer was an investigator, and she went on to a different employment, but she's still with us because of her outstanding skills as being an officer and investigator. She's also on our bike patrol, so it's really nice to have her come out and join with that. And then we have 2 non-sworn staff, and I really want to highlight them. The first one's Angie Solons, and she's our evidence tech. She's been with us for over 42 years. Yes, she knows everything there is to know about the agency and the town and does wonderful work. She's in charge of my evidence, and as some of you all know, I know Mr. Cochran and Mr. Austin know, Evidence can make or break a law enforcement agency. If that evidence is mishandled, I'll lose a case, or worse. So we make sure that everything is good to go, and she handles a number of pieces of evidence day in, day out. And this past year, she just got certified to be a certified property and evidence technician. So that was a good achievement on her part. She passed the classes and the test, and we're proud of that. Our other non-sworn is Carrie Price. Carrie Price is our administrator coordinator and is here with us tonight, hoping that I wouldn't talk about her. But Carrie takes care of about everything administratively. And one of the things that are commonly overlooked is the number of FOIA requests that we get at the agency. So this year alone, we had 626 FOIA requests, and we filled 694 records with that. Now that could be anything from a minor crash report all the way up to the body-worn camera video. So the body-worn camera video is just one in our record. Last year, she had 636 requests, and she released 692 of those records. So you can see consistently high numbers of FOIA requests. And sometimes we forget how many times people come in for records.
Was that primary insurance companies?
It just varies. Insurance companies, victims, offenders, newspapers. It's just a wide assortment of people
Okay.
asking for records. People just doing research projects. It's just a number. So our people, because of course the officers and my staff are the most important thing in my agency. They're the ones that keep us rolling. They represent us. So we had 4 Academy graduates this year. Shauna Heisler and Ben Powell graduated in May. And then we had Dylan Bradley and Emily Breeding that graduated in December. Of course, Officer Heisler and Officer Powell are well on their own, out there doing great things. And then we have Bradley and Breeding who are still in their field training. It takes a while.
How long does it take with the field training?
So the standard's around 200 hours. We
200
tend
hours.
to push that out depending on what kind of experience they've had during that shift. So if they have a night shift and they don't have a whole lot going on, they don't get a whole lot of experience. So we try to give them as much experience as they can before we allow them to go out on their own. My indicators generally are when the field trainer comes up and says, "Chief, there's nothing more I can teach them." And then when the officer comes up and says, "Chief, I need to go on my own," and then I'm like, 2 more weeks and you've got it. Because we want to make sure it sets their career up for success doing the field training. So we want to make sure that they're good to go. And then our newest officer is Grayson Jones. Social media got on there, and we had a number of comments that he wasn't old enough to be a police officer, but he actually is old enough to be a police officer and is doing excellent at the academy. He's going through the testing without any problems at all, and he's just working right along. This year at our Christmas party, we celebrated a few things. One of the most important awards we have is Employee of the Year. And Carrie Price won that. Well done, Carrie. This award is nominated by all the staff and then selected by the supervisors, and she does such amazing jobs. It doesn't go unnoticed. Everybody realizes how much she does to make sure that we operate very smoothly and efficiently. So she got the Employee of the Year. This year I also started a Rookie of the Year, and I had my sergeants decide amongst themselves who would be the Rookie of the Year. And as a leader, it was very nice to sit back and watch 2 sergeants vote for one person and 2 sergeants vote for another person, and then bicker back and forth about all the wonderful things that those 2 officers did. So I allowed it to go on for a few minutes, and then finally all 4 sergeants looked at me and said, "Chief, can we just pick 2?" I said, "Yes, we can pick 2." So the 2 Rookies of the Year are Jacob Hagee and Benjamin Powell. And then, of course, Officer Riley won the MAD Award just now. During this year, we also moved Officer Heidi Wilson from patrol into investigations. Heidi's been with us for a little over 2 years now, but she's had previous experience at another agency. Investigator Wilson is a certified crime scene technician. She did attend the National Forensic Academy in Knoxville, in which she successfully passed. And if you see in that picture, that is at the body farm in Knoxville, where they were looking at, or really digging up and evaluating the bones. But she was put in this position in January and has been doing great since she's been in that position. Some community outreach that we've accomplished. Bike patrol, we've got them trained, we've got them up, we've got them rolling, and this summer should be a lot more frequently that we'll be out there on our bikes, on the Creeper Trail, talking to the people out there and patrolling it. We are as hopeful as you are that the Creeper Trail will come back and be super crowded, and we should be out there with us. The bike patrol has been very successful. They barely make it anywhere before they're stopped by citizens, and they just want to talk about the bike patrol and about the trail and about the Abingdon, and it's been a great program.
How many officers do we have with the bike patrol?
We have six on the bike patrol.
6 on the bike patrol.
No, they are kind of pushing towards e-bikes, but for now we'll still pedal.
Going out's always easy.
Some other events, the Battle of the Badges blood drive was again this year. I won't talk about the winner of that blood drive. We'll skip over that. We'll go to Plum Alley. It was a good event too. Plum Alley is always fun for us. It's a way for us to get out. Coming up again here in May. And you all know, you all been out there and seen the crowds of people, and we like to get out there too. We had a first responder day at E.B. Stanley that was fun. Another event that we started this year was a distracted driving event at Abingdon High School, and that went over very well. We teamed up with other agencies and with the school, and we just wanted to highlight the dangers of distracted driving, texting and driving, on their phone and driving, especially with inexperienced drivers. So we had crash cars that we put out. They had a little program out there. They had even role players from the school out there, and the event was very phenomenal. We are bringing back the RAD Women's Self-Defense classes. That's been a very popular thing, more popular than we can put the classes together, but we are getting those out there more and more. One of the recent things that we put in, and Mr. Cochran kind of headed up this project, was putting AEDs in all of our police cars, just giving us a little bit more life-saving ability in those cars. And thankfully, Chief Estes, I got to give him props on this. He is coordinating the project now. He's making sure that we have batteries and we have pads and we have all the equipment that we need to make sure that this project's successful. So now when you see marked patrol cars riding around, you also know that there is an AED in the back of those cars. Because we've been full staff and close to it lately, we've gone through quite a bit of training. Training's also critical for a law enforcement officer. We have to keep our skills very sharp. Each officer that I put out there has a wide variety of problems to solve every single day. And so I try to give them as much tools, whether it's equipment or knowledge, to be out there and solve those problems for our community. So you can see here we've spent a number of time in 2,600 hours training in 2024. We spent some hours teaching at the academy. If you want to get somebody really good in a topic, you have them teach that topic, and then they learn that topic, and they become, they read about the latest trends and how policing's changing, and keep up with everything. We've also done quite a bit of in-house training, of course, CPR, first aid, AED, our legal updates. So shout out to our Commonwealth Attorney's Office for providing those updates. School safety training, we did some scenario-based training in the schools. The schools were very nice to us, allowing us to have a section of the school when nobody else was there so that we could practice ourselves. And that involved just us doing teamwork and movements, to even using a little bit of simunition and more lifelike scenarios. We did enlist a little help from our Parks and Rec department and from our HR to use those as role players. And that training went very well. Other trainings, everything from accreditation, FOIA, grant writing, Interviewing, school safety, you can see it's a list, and that's just not an inclusive list. I've tried to get my folks trained as quickly as I can. Funding, some grants that came in, 599 funding for 2024 was 243,082. We did get a local LE block grant for $1,800, and we got some PBTs. PBTs are preliminary breath tests. Those are the kind of the little small alka sensors that we use on the side of the road, just to give us an indicator of what somebody's BAC and alcohol level is. Again, trying to reduce those DUIs. We got the SRO incentive grant for the schools, and that continuously provides an extra SRO at Abingdon High School. And then we got a Burn Justice Assistant grant for $18,000, in which we bought 8 laptops and 7 docking stations. China, that grant's going to offset some costs that we would normally have to put those laptops in those cars, and to update some that we've had out there for quite some time. So total grants for 2024 that came in were $331,012. So now the fun statistics part that everybody's been waiting for. These are incident reports that we've taken each year. For 2024, we've had 3,246 incident reports taken, and that's about on anything. You know, if they assist a motorist to if they arrest somebody for assault, they'll do an incident report on it. And these are our Group A and Group B offenses, and I know it's kind of hard to read, but Group A and Group B is what the National Incident-Based Reporting System categorizes different crimes. And this is a national category, and so what happens is when we take a report, we put it in one of these groups, and then we send it to the state police, who then send it to the FBI, who gather all the statistics. All public agencies in Virginia will submit their data to the state, which forwards to the FBI. And so they've listed these offenses in Group A and then in Group B. So on this, the biggest difference in these two, between the 3,246 and the 435, is we've taken all the miscellaneous reports out. So those that we've gone on a welfare check maybe, or assisting a motorist, we've taken those out. And these are just kind of your bigger criminal activity. And you can see we've done a little bit better than last year. Last year was at 486, which kind of tops us out over those 4 years that we're bringing it back down. So the top 10 offenses in 2024, the top one was trespassing, which is unusual. That one usually doesn't pop to the top, but this past year it did. And right beside it is simple assault, and unfortunately simple assaults are there, and that also includes our domestic assaults as well. The 90C there, disorderly conduct, they just recently changed that. That used to be called drunkenness, but at the national level they decided instead of calling it drunkenness, they would just all put it in disorderly conduct. So your intoxicated in publics are there as well. And then we have our larcenies and our shopliftings and destruction. So if you take the Group B offenses and you have the Group A, which are the more significant ones generally, then you can see that it goes simple assault and then all other larcenies and shoplifting. So those are our top 3. On 23F, in the middle, you have 22, theft from a motor vehicle. That's when people will open the car doors and grab stuff out. We try to highlight the importance of locking your cars when you're parking them outside. Just always lock the car. We have a great community, but you don't want to make it easy for somebody just to open the door and grab something. For traffic, these are traffic crash stats. 2024, we had 297 crashes. These are crashes just on the roadway in Abingdon. These don't count the ones that have happened in the parking lots. So you can see over the past 3 years, it's stayed pretty consistent. 2 years in a row, back to back, the same number, which is pretty wild statistically, but we're still right up there. You know, our goal is always to reduce that, but so far we're staying consistent. And part of the way that we reduce it is with traffic stops. And you can see with our stops, we've had 1,928 stops for 2024. And of those stops, we've issued 1,099 summonses. And you can see the two comparisons between 23 and 24. And you can see that we're trying to increase those traffic stops and those encounters in hopes that we reduce some of those crashes a little bit. So basically, that's a very, very quick summary of all the things that we have done in 2024. Again, love to highlight my crew. They're a fantastic group. We have a pretty good time together, except for when you're training with a canine unit. I don't. Do you all have any questions or anything?
I appreciate everything you do.
Of course, I want to.
Kind of goes back to what Amanda said to the gentleman at the barter. Is there anything that you feel like that the council can do to help you out? If you need any help with the police department, or do you feel like we're pretty much where we need to be?
You all provide tremendous support, not only here, but out in the community. You support us and you talk great things about us, and that builds trust between the community and our agency. I like that, but you all give me great support, and I'm truly appreciative of it. And you give my troops great support. And Mr. Cochran's right there with me on a lot of different things, so I got to shout out to him a little bit as well. It's very helpful to have somebody very knowledgeable in law enforcement in that role.
I'm just the guy that used to be a traffic cop.
Wait, still my question, but thank you. No, it's a good question. Thank you for everything you all do for us.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, John.
Now it's going to lead us to our next person that signed up with new business, and that's going to be for the 2026 Virginia Municipal Court Association Conference. And we have Kim Kingsley going to come up and explain that to us, if that's okay.
Well, I have lost my mind, and I'm offering to host the 2026 conference. It'll be 29 years since we've had a conference in Southwest Virginia, especially in the town of Abingdon. So one of the things is that I have to have council support and also the town manager before I can submit a letter to see if we get awarded the conference. So that's what I'm here for tonight.
Well, does anybody on the council have any questions for Kim?
Just minimal cost. Mike was asking about cost. I will have to attend some of the executive meetings.
Yeah, she does. She's on the state board, so she does a lot of stuff already. But this will give an opportunity to get folks that don't even know that there's a state west of Roanoke. They'll have an opportunity to come on out here and see what we're made of.
You just said that like a true Southwest Virginian. I'm so proud. We've converted you. No, I was getting ready to say that. From hosting statewide meetings here in the past, I really, really think it's important to get people here.
Yes, we usually travel to Richmond and Virginia Beach.
Bringing this way.
Interesting.
I
And we have
think
a
it's
lot
great.
of a lot of communities in Southwest Virginia the clerks cannot afford to go, so this will be a great opportunity for them also.
Well, how many participants are usually at these?
Usually an average to 80 to 120.
Wow, that's awesome.
What can we do to help you?
Just the support right now. There might be some small financial things as far as postage and things, but they'll be reimbursed through the association. So
Do you need a
some
formal
time.
vote from them or just a?
No, just an endorsement.
Yeah,
So
we have my endorsement.
Well, I think that you have everyone on the council's endorsement, Kim, and Kim, we really appreciate, me and I know everyone on the council, we appreciate everything that you do for the Abingdon Town Council, and this will just be a way to make Abingdon shine and to make you shine as well too, because you do a wonderful job.
and I will expect you all there at some of the events in April if it's awarded.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim. And with that, we're going to move on to old business, and we'll go back to Kim. I don't think we have anything signed up for old business, Kim. We have miscellaneous business and communications from our town manager, Mike Cochran.
Sure, just real briefly, bulk day is Tuesday tomorrow, so if you have bulk sitting in the garage waiting to go to the curb, tonight's the night to do it. The Coombs, I just wanted to let people know that are looking from the outside, we're in the final stages of getting the 24-hour access to most of the areas of the Coombs, not the basketball courts, but the weight and cardio area. They've been doing some renovations, and we're waiting on a couple final pieces, but that still is in process. And those of y'all that haven't been out there in a while, we did some pretty significant renovations and added a lot of new weights and stuff like that. Traffic lights, I get this question a lot. When are they going to do the traffic lights, or why do we have certain ones that aren't quite there yet? There's emergency vehicle, the DOT, the Virginia DOT, is working on the emergency vehicle signalization prioritization. So when an emergency vehicle goes through, they'll be able to send out a signal and gives them a green light automatically. It's a huge undertaking, and it's been taking a while, but they're under contract to have it done by May of '25. So hopefully we'll be there. The nice thing is as the emergency vehicles approach, and I know everybody hears them, as they approach the lights, they'll get a green light ahead of the other traffic, and so that should help out quite a bit. But May of this year it should be done. And then Country Club Drive, if I ever go out in the community and I'm talking to someone and they live in that area, I hear about Country Club Drive. Tractor trailers on Country Club Drive, the VDOT is again very familiar with this issue because we remind them of this often. So they have a counter out there right now as we're sitting here looking to see how bad the issue is. The downside is it might only happen twice a month, but when it does happen, they always go into the dirt and mess it all up for us. So they're looking at that, and they're also looking at the lack of the right turn lane. That may be a little while. It's not an inexpensive fix, but it's not us because that whole section is designed by them. And one question I do get a lot too is that little dirt section right to the left when you pull in on Country Club. There's been questions like, can we pave it? We can't do anything there. That's all a VDOT thing. They have direct control over a certain area from an intersection. And then I think that's it. Yes, that's absolutely it. And I just appreciate Public Works. One thing, if folks have noticed, because I did notice the other day, and we had 2 folks out there today on litter pickup. When it snows, and like on a day-to-day basis, we don't generally have a lot of litter, but what happens when you have snow on the ground for 3 weeks, you get 3 weeks worth of litter, and then it all melts, and then you have litter. So if you happen to see more than you normally would see, it's because it's 3 weeks worth. But we had 2 folks out today, and we had more folks out tomorrow, so our goal is to get it back quickly. So.
I have one quick question
Yes,
for you, Mike, and it was brought to my attention, I just couldn't answer it. You know the recyclable bins out on Russell Road?
Mm-hmm.
When is the pickup for that? Because
It's scheduled for twice a week.
It's scheduled for twice a week.
So twice a week.
Like Tuesday and Thursday, that's the
Yeah,
pickup on that, or does it just vary with that?
I don't have the schedule, but it's twice. We pay for twice. We're 2 pickups, and last year we moved them from in front of the Coombs out there to Russell Road, and basically because the traffic volume on Russell Road is significantly higher than it is out at the Coombs, and then aesthetically, I like the look of them better on Russell Road than I do in front of the Coombs, and so yeah, but it is twice a week what we pay for. There's a recycling thing on that. They do get filled quite a bit. I think more so now that they've out there. I'll see if we
I
have.
was going to say the people that inquired the question to me, they are telling residents, and
Yeah.
the location, great.
Mhm.
It's just that they were saying that the pickup seemed to be, and it could have been over the winter,
Yeah.
where we had the storms.
Mhm.
They were saying that it was excessive, and I just didn't have the right answer on.
I'll check
what
to see if we
days
can
that-
add a
that we
third,
picked those.
because I think our volumes have increased since we've changed the location.
But I
People
think the
figure out
location
everywhere.
is great because that works out for everyone out there on Russell Road.
Yeah.
So, but I was
Great.
just wanting to know what the.
The frequency twice. It was once, and then every time I took something out there, it was full. So I got with Rick, kind of the coordinator on that particular thing. But I'll find out, see if we can add a third if it's getting full more often. So.
Thank you, Mike.
Mhm.
Anyone else have any questions for the town manager? Now that's going to lead us to our council reports. Anybody have anything they'd like to speak about on the council reports?
I'd just like to say thank you for everybody who worked so hard on January Jams. I've had more than one restaurant owner, and I'm sure you can speak to this, come to me and say that it really helped their traffic. One restaurant owner in particular said that they were up $10,000–$15,000 this January over last January, and they completely attribute that to January Jams. So our tourism department did a great job organizing that.
Thanks, yeah, because given the weather.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
I know.
Well,
Yeah, thanks, good to hear.
I just have one thing that I would like to say. Excuse me, Donna.
I was just gonna say I have my first tourism meeting tomorrow.
All right. I'd like to give a shout out to the police department. Last week I was at work at the tavern, and I think that it was like Friday morning or maybe Thursday morning. We had an incident where fake $100 bills were rolling around through the town of Abingdon. And it's just good to know that the police actually came to the tavern restaurant and actually spoke to the owner of the tavern, explained the situation of what was going on, And I really appreciate that. I know other restaurants and other businesses appreciate that too. You know, the sooner that we can get that word out on that we can start checking, because we don't want any of that in the town of Abingdon. So thank you, Chief, and thank you to the lady that came to the restaurant and was very informative of what was going on and how things were taking place. So thank you for being on that. Any other questions or any other comments? Wayne Austin?
I'm good, sir, thank you.
All right. Derek?
Had tree commission last Monday night. There is, and Kevin's gonna kill me, but there's a specific insect that is making its way down the 81 corridor, and he will be here at some point in time to warn everybody about it. But other than that, things are pretty calm.
All right. Anything else from you, Mike Cochran?
No, well, just one minor thing. So everybody knows Mary Ann Moore. Love Mary Ann Moore. And she called me a few weeks ago to compliment us. She just loves the town and called, being real nice. And I asked her, I said, what'd you think of our Christmas tree in front of the Fields Pen? And she goes, do you really want to know? And I said, absolutely. I said, rip the bark off, let me know. She goes, it's a colonial house, and we need to have a big blue spruce out there or something. And the nice thing is we have someone on Bradley Street who had actually contacted us about donating their 22-foot blue spruce that's beautifully shaped to the town, because it's outgrown their front yard. So we're going to be in the process of relocating that huge tree to roughly the same spot. So it'll give us that perfect colonial. I love the height and the visual appeal of the tree, but you know, to her point, it's not a colonial, so it will be next year. Just to let people know, and we'll have Kevin make sure it doesn't get any of the fern bugs coming in on it. But it really was kind of nice, and we're certainly going to relocate that other one, because that one, I love the look of that. We're trying to find a home, so that's it.
All right. With that said, we'll move right along to appointments and to boards and committees. And I don't know if we need to go into closed session to discuss this, or if we can.
I think we only had one application for the open position, so we're probably okay if you guys are okay.
All right.
I'd like to make a motion that for Abingdon Redevelopment and Housing Authority, we reappoint Janet Woolwine. For Sustain Abingdon, we reappoint Lauren Nagel and also Kevin Sigmund. And for the Arts Commission, that we appoint Kathy Gibeon.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? Kim, if you'll please call roll.
Mr. Webb?
Aye.
Ms. Quetch?
Aye.
Ms. Williams?
Aye.
Vice Mayor Austin?
Aye.
And Mayor Anderson?
Aye. All right, with that being said, that will close the council meeting for this evening. I call this meeting adjourned.
Sign it.